Welcome back, everybody. Today we're doing a review of this bipod that you see right here from Accu Tac. I've had this one in for a while, and you guys have seen it in a number of reviews I've already done, and I'm getting to the dedicated review now. I have a ton of footage with this. I think I had over an hour and a half of just shooting footage, so I'm going to pare that down. This video will not be that long. Apologize if the wind is kind of getting to you here today, but it's a nice day, and I wanted to step outside to do the review. Anyway, getting onto the bipod itself, it is made out of solid billet aluminum, CNC machined down, 100% in the USA in terms of all parts sourced and constructed in the USA. It's got some cool things going on that kind of make it one of the better bipods, in my opinion, that I've used to date. So first and foremost, they have 5 different adjustments here on the legs, and to adjust it, basically you just pull down and then slide in whichever direction you want to go. It is rotatable 180 degrees, so if you want the legs back, you can do that. If you want the legs forward, you can do that. And there's any number of reasons you might want to do that. So you can see here, even with this 10 round AI mag here, if you need to get a little bit lower to the ground to reduce your signature or your defilade, depending on the situation you're in, it does give you the ability to do that while still using the bipod. It does have the ability to cant, which is awesome because in the real world, the ground is not always level like this table probably is, and you need to be able to cant your rifle so that way your reticle can be, or at least your vertical line can be vertical and your horizontal line can be horizontal, ensuring that your windage holds and stuff like that are going to be good downrange. It is adjustable for how much tension you want to put on it with the cant. There's a little lever under here and you can tighten it down to make it real hard to adjust, or you can loosen it up to make it a little bit easier. I'll loosen it here real quick. It'll probably fall over to the side. If I just touch it, yep, there you go. So that is how you do that. I prefer to have it pretty taut, so that way it takes a little bit of muscle to make it happen and it doesn't just accidentally move over. But I do like that. I was a little bit concerned with this piece here, the adjustable tension piece, thinking that it might loosen up over time. But again, I've thousands of rounds through this thing at this point and it hasn't ever done that. So I don't really see that as an issue. When you first get the bipod in, these little feet that you see here are going to be the ones that are on it. So these are the rubber ones that ship standard with it. And they come out into 5 different positions there. And it is spring loaded. So if you want to retract them relatively quickly, you just press the button and they pop right back in. But these ones here have the rubber. So for most surfaces, they're going to do just fine. They do offer these with an aftermarket kit. And they're spikes. So if you're shooting on like really hard rock, maybe on concrete where you really kind of need to dig your bipod in with some metal spikes, they do offer that. Now these spin right out, and that's sort of a pro and a con, right? So that's actually probably one of the few cons I'm going to say throughout this review, is that during shooting, one of these actually came off in terms of spun out. It didn't come completely out, but I looked down and saw it and spun it back in. Since then, I've just used a little bit of blue Loctite. It's never happened again. But if you do want the capability to add those spikes, you obviously have to have the ability to thread them out. So pro and con there. If you do get it and you don't plan on changing out anything, even if you do, a little blue or purple Loctite isn't going to hurt anything. So I do recommend you do that. But that spring-loaded feature there to get it back in really is nice, and also the ability to put it in several different positions depending on the height that you actually need it for the terrain that you're on and your rifle is nice. This scope does have a nice wide stance, which is nice for stability on different surfaces, and again, to extend how far up in terms of lift off the ground you are, you just pull those out, and these adjust between 6.25 inches and 9.75 inches. I should have mentioned earlier in the video that this does have the quick detach attachment system, so it will attach to any of your 1913 Weaver, Picatinny, etc. style rails, and it does have a little adjustability in terms of the tension on it. So if your rail is a little bit out of spec, a little bit bigger or smaller than some others, you can adjust it so that way it'll clamp down nice and securely on there. And with that actual QD system and the bipod here on my scale, it came in right at 18 ounces. So that can either be a pro or a con, right? So if you're looking for precision accuracy to be able to easily see your trace rather for follow-up shots, that weight is a good thing, right? A little bit more stability there, especially with the wide stance here of this bipod. Now, if you're trekking out 12, 15 miles for a hunt, probably not the best thing. So it just sort of depends what you're going to use it for. I think most folks, though, it's just not going to be an issue for. It's not for me anyway, what I do and how I shoot. So the last thing I wanted to cover here was going to be price. The price on this one is $230, $240 most places. Sometimes you can find it for a little bit less depending on where you look, sales, coupon codes, and all that stuff. And we will put those links and codes down below should I find any of them. Look at that. I just tightened it up there with that adjustment system I talked about earlier in the video. So price-wise, it's not cheap. It's definitely one of the more high-end bipods that folks are using out there. But that said, there's definitely ones that are 2, 3 times, 4 times even as much as it. So it's not the highest end bipod out there, but it's certainly not going to be in the budget class either. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions about this bipod, how it works, how it adjusts, what I think of it going forward, you can always post down below in the comment section. You can also post over at my Facebook page, as always. That is generally the best way to get in touch with me. And if you guys like what you see here and you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend hitting that subscribe button. For those of you guys that are subscribed, I hope to see all of you in the next video.